Okay, so this is just a quick walkthrough of the repository. Just navigate to the folder. So just a brief walkthrough of what it does. You've got this makefile over here. The makefile calls a script that creates the Docker image and then initializes to start a devnet, which involves setting up a Kubernetes cluster with Minikube and applying various configurations. So in the scripts folder, you will find all the bash scripts related to its setup. So this is the building of the Docker image you'll find over here. According to the instructions in this axelar core repo, you've then got the devnet setup, which has to do with the applying of various configurations, config maps and so on, setting up the observability, as well as validators and so forth. This testnet one, this is just a log that's being added in here at the moment, for an approach you could take to that. Right now the repository is very much focused on devnet as a devnet based deployment for protocol changes on the core repo. So here you'll find all the setups for the observability, as well as the deployment YAMLs for Grafana, Prometheus, etc. This will be the infrastructure. So over here you'll find the node setup for the node. That's the service. So it's a stateful set here that you'll find for the setup of the node and the validator. For the validator, keys are created dynamically via this expect script over here that you'll find in the configuration directory. So there's a configuration for the node which dynamically generates its config.toml by allowing each validator to be one of its persistent peers so that it can start syncing. For the validator, there is this specific expect script that does the setup of the validator, including the keys, ensuring that each validator has a unique set of keys. So to ensure that this is Byzantine fault tolerant as a minimum, if you go into like the node, you will see we at least go with like 3 replicas on the node and about 4 replicas on the validator. Okay, so how do you use this thing? What you'll do is you do make axelar like that. It's going to ask you, do you want a devnet or a testnet? You do one for devnet. Then it goes and starts the process. It makes a clone of the axelar core repo, and then goes ahead and builds the Docker image. So I've already like cloned the repo already and built the Docker image, so it's like using the cache. So that's one of the nice things also about this. Like when you've already built it and you're using it again, it will be like much swifter and quicker. So now it's gonna go through and do all this processing. Excuse me. So you have to like be patient to wait for it to set up. One of the other cool things while all of this is running here, I'll show you that. In the Docker image setup over here, you'll see that it pulls it checks out on the latest stable version. So you could imagine if you like got a branch that you're working on, you could check out on it like on here and kind of see what it would work on like with a devnet. Okay, cool. That could also be like an input that you could put in. Let's see how far this thing is. Okay, so now it's doing the Minikube setup to get everything in. It's now about to deploy the validator pods. So of course the validator pods deploy first, and then it makes use of the expect script to ensure that each validator got its own unique keys, so that you can't have double signing and stuff like that, obviously, at least on the testing for the devnet, like, because there can be a bunch of stuff you want to test, right? I'll just wait for this to finish. Okay, cool. There it's going ahead now with the pods. So there's 4 validator pods that need to deploy. Okay, cool, there it's up now. Now it's going to do the expect exec in. There we go. Boom, got the validator keys. And then it's going to persist the genesis to be used by the nodes as well. So the other node pods are spinning up. This is doing the Minikube dashboard to help with like executing into some of the pods and stuff like that. And this is an observability setup that's running now for Prometheus and Grafana. Then it's got a node export as well, and then there's some the Grafana dashboard is using with Tendermint. So the Prometheus takes some time to spin up. Just takes a little bit of time. We'll just wait for that one to finish. So depending how much stuff you're running on your machine while you're doing this, might be a bit quicker. But if you're running a bunch of stuff and maybe got some other processes as well, it might take some more time on the Prometheus side. So this is essential to ensure that the pod for Prometheus is ready. So by the time that the deployment is finished, from an experience side, when you open it, it will just be working. So here we can exec into these pods. So let's go into one of the validators. Pods. Cool. So you can check that status. Make sure it's a validator. That gets set in the deployment YAML. That's how I know the password is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also, everything's deployed now. So now you can just check Grafana. So we'll take this one. Just copy that. Grafana. And then for Prometheus. Yeah. So for Prometheus, you can see your targets are up over here. So all the targets. And then your data source for Prometheus is connected. And you can check out one of the dashboards. This dashboard over here. It's got all your relevant metrics from the Cosmos side. So you can imagine this is pretty cool to kind of test things on new PRs on a devnet, to make sure and check how things are handled. A load of stuff can be added to this to improve it, like transactions that can like kind of hit the nodes and so on, and you can start checking different stuff like signing of blocks and so on, and whether protocol changes affect them or not, and how that kind of works. So you can just explore and exec into everything from the side. So all your pods and so on for the nodes validators are in the default namespace, and all of the monitoring based ones are over here in this monitoring namespace. The URLs are there in the log, so you can check it. Here are the pods for Prometheus, Grafana, etc. Here you can see I exec into the validator. You can obviously check the logs directly from here as well. Just show you that maybe. So if you do kubectl get pods, check the logs on this one. Just do kubectl logs. You can see like it's mining, right? And then check one of the validators. So that was a node, so it was syncing, right? And then let's check one of the validators, and you can see that the height will update. There it goes to 100, and that's that. And then when you're done, make clean, boom, and the devnet goes down. That's it.